Nerdy For, the podcast where we ask people what they're nerdy for. On this episode, we speak with Amanda Dobbs. AJ Dobbs is her street name. And she actually is the 1000% queen of the nerds. She broke my algorithms. She topped every chart. We talk about, she's a writer. We talk about writing. She's helping me write some memoirs. She's a baker. Her husband collects action figures. There's images. You all, if you're not watching this on YouTube, you have to watch this episode on YouTube because the imagery alone is worth the click. Hello, welcome to Nerdy For, the podcast where we find out what people are nerdy for. I have a very fun friend next to me right now, and she and I met doing stand-up comedy together. Please welcome AJ Dobbs.
Hi, kids. Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so glad you're here. And it's 1,000 degrees in this room right now. And we are women of a certain age. And it's Mother's Day. There's a lot. There's
Happy
a lot
Mother's
of
Day, by the
Just
way.
Hashtag perimenopause. That's all you need to know. We'll be glistening. Might be a little rosy. It'll be a delight.
Oh
You'll
my gosh.
love it.
Does alcohol increase your chances of having a hot flash? If yes, don't tell
yes,
me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Kidding.
Gin and tonics all around.
I mean,
When
I'm
in
gonna chew
Rome,
my eyes
do
like
not
a
chew your eyes.
classy
Bad
lady.
for your enamel. We actually just went over that in our last podcast.
We did. There's a lot of ice talk in the last one.
Well,
did.
we covered this earlier. Is that I have finally one of the gifts of perimenopause is I don't give a shit anymore. Sorry, I don't give
There
a
we
shit
go.
anymore. So if my
Amen.
teeth fall out and my ass shows, then I'm living life right. So.
Oh my gosh, teeth out and ass showing. That's a NASCAR dream. I'm on board.
That's my t-shirt.
My mom was always very unapologetic, just and everything. And then she went through early menopause, and then during that, she just after like, because she went through it in her late 30s, and then after that, she was just kind of like, "Give me your shirt." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "I gotta wipe all the sweat off of my underboob." I'm like, just fuck.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah.
No, I have this whole theory that it's related to your estrogen, and like the number of Fs that you give is related to the flow of estrogen through your veins. So like when you're a teenager, you have like all your Fs show up at once. Like you just care about everything and all the fucks. You just give all the fucks.
Yeah.
And then in your 20s, you like, my joke is you care about who you fuck, and that's a whole other project. But then in your 30s, you start to get your fuck stolen from you. So like you have to like have a mortgage, and then that's a set of fucks that you have to give.
Yes.
That's involuntary. Like you can't go to out drinking because you have to fuck about brunch and the dog and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the gift of your 40s and 50s is your fucks are gone. And they are not coming back. And there are none in the warehouse. They have not been delayed. And you are just like, I am out, and I have locked the door to the warehouse, and welcome. Because you're going to have to work really hard to get any of these fucks, because I don't got many.
It's cheers.
Right?
This is why I can't do small talk anymore, because I when I was in my 20s, I loved small. I wanted to meet everybody and find out about them and what's going on. And now I can't do small talk.
Yeah.
And I'm a chatty person. And if I can't do small, I can only imagine what it's like for introverts.
No. Yeah, no kidding. No, it's pecked to death by ducks. And what I've discovered too is that I love people, but I hate getting to know people. You know what I mean? Like if I know you and I like you, then I'm happy to see you. But
Worst
I'm
part
like,
about people is that they want to talk back.
right? And you're like, look, okay, this guy, I just, I bet you're really interesting. Not really. I don't need you. I don't want you. I'm not here for this.
That's
So
why I think
keep walking.
I really enjoy doing stand up, because you're on stage and you're being really honest, and anyone who comes up to you after that is game on. It's like, oh, this person
Right.
has already seen all of my crazy, and they're like, yes,
Yes.
I relate to that.
Very
I'm like, okay,
vulnerable.
perfect. We are now best friends. You know everything about me,
No.
and the fact that you came up to me tells me everything I need to know about you. Like
That's
you
right.
are authentic and hardcore, and let's go.
No, you're
I-
like Brene Brown. Brene Brown.
I find it very funny when people are surprised how many stand-up comics in particular are like introverts, though.
Yeah.
And they're like, but you get up on stage, you talk to other people. And I'm personally extroverted, but I was like, you do understand the point of stand-up is you have a microphone, and socially, no one's supposed to talk back to you. And if they do, you get to belittle them. Like, this isn't a social thing. Like,
No,
it's like,
you're
no,
right.
if you say something back, I will make you look like an asshole in front of all these people here.
Well, it is. It's like the force field. Like
Yeah.
I get to talk. You don't talk. I talk. And I don't have to talk to you, and I don't have to talk to you.
I hear like comics keep posting crowd work because they don't want to burn their material, and so now audience members are going to comedy shows and they think it's part of it to interrupt, yell out stuff, and then some comics actually do a lot of crowd work. It's part of the process. It's just very confusing for audiences, I think.
Well, I'll have to say, I went to a graduation today.
Was there hecklers at the graduation?
So much background noise at a graduation. And
Wait, what? Paint the picture.
Okay.
What age was graduating?
Okay, so my very good friend, who is a mature woman such as we, went back and got her master's degree, right? She's going to be a therapist. She's an amazing human. She's out there to save the world. She, on Mother's Day, made her 2 little angels and her husband get in the car and go to graduation and cheer for her, right? Tears streaming down my face. So we get there, and, it's a giant stadium. And the
Which
guy...
school is it?
Mercer University, but it's in like a huge Gas South stadium, right? And so literally, and as a writer, I appreciated his copywriting. This guy had the best "don't say anything" speech I've ever heard. He was like, "It is a beautiful moment, and this is a reverent moment, and we will give you plenty of time to have celebratory orations about your family, and let's just respect everyone's chance to get their name called so that their family can hear their name, because you guys all came here, and you all want to hear one name, and everyone just wants to hear one name." And literally 30 seconds it's devolved. And it was like, "Go Cherry!"
I know. I don't want to say it's that guy's fault, but I would admit, as soon as he said that, even if I wasn't going to cheer, I'm like,
I'm just going to spite this guy.
Every 5 people that go up there.
Planted a
Chancellor of Mercer. I do what I want.
He planted a seed. It's like the drug, the DARE program. We're like, kids, these are the drugs. Don't do them. Like, wait, which
You're like,
ones?
which one?
And they all start doing drugs because now they could identify them.
Yeah, you're like, which one makes me
that's a
feel more
joy.
up? Okay, all right.
All the ornery people in the audience are like, F this dude.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well,
we forgot. Also, P.S. You can continue, but we forgot to ask you what you're nerdy for.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll get back
give
to
me the
that.
little, give me the little keel
Okay,
up.
I'll behave.
Okay, you don't have to behave.
It's Mother's
get
Day.
to be
We don't have
naughty.
It's Mother's Day. We've had a drink. We'll be fine.
Naughty's out. Hey, yo, let's do this. That's the name of my tennis team, too, is the Naughties.
Is the naughties?
Yes.
Good for you.
And we're at a country club. What? And you almost had a spit take. Okay, AJ Dobbs, what are you nerdy for?
Oh, I'm excited you asked me that question. Because, first of all, one of the things I'm nerdy for is Amy Gibbs Brown, everybody. How about this guy?
No,
I know how to do this. No, I will tell you. So I'm a writer by trade. So I'm way nerdy for writing and grammar. Get ready, guys. It's going to be a hot show. I'm also super nerdy for food. I was just saying that I actually am a huge foodie. I have a culinary degree. Don't be impressed. It wasn't worth it. And I'm nerdy by marriage because...
Yes. If you are next to someone who's really nerdy, you absorb all this weird information that you didn't know you knew until you're at a trivia event.
And I will tell you, I'm way nerdy by marriage because my husband is a Star Wars collector.
Yeah.
Wait, 23 years, ladies.
That's hot. That's hot.
No, so what I have is a guest room that's filled with Star Wars dollies. They are displayed in like movie accurate scenes.
Oh,
that's awesome.
He's got a lot of free time.
It's awesome.
Oh, to me, I'm not joking. I'm just like, when do I get to come over to this room?
I should sell tickets, I'll tell you, because and I have to be nice to the community because one day he is maybe going to get hit by a bus, and then I'm going to have a room full of this wonderful,
sell it
creative,
immediately.
Exciting merchandise that someone really ought to pay me for.
You make sure they don't rob you blind because it gets dark in the collectibles community.
All I'm going to say is we might have an OG Lando Calrissian with the original vinyl cape.
Mm-hmm.
Who heard that?
You don't know my address.
This room might have a bug in it. We can't have that out there in the world.
I do know, because if you have original from like the
70s?
first pressings, that's the ones that sell. Because I got
Is it in a safe? Is it fireproof?
No, it's in my guest bedroom instead of things that are classic.
I don't think you should tell anyone. We have to take that out, Joel. We can't have that loose on the YouTube.
No, please.
Yeah.
Please. I'd love to get the insurance money.
Don't dox AJ and come and steal
Yeah, right.
all the
Don't
Star
look up my
Wars.
mail.
Do you have a balloon policy on your insurance?
Well, what's funny is everyone walks into this room, and I can't really. People are like, "Oh, he collects Star Wars. That's cool," and I'm like, "No, we have a room that is wallpapered, ceiling, walls, every inch with 4 thumbtacks, not through the edge of the cardboard because that would ruin the card. Wallpapered of probably 300, 400, 500 Star Wars action figures that are stuck to every surface.
Okay.
I have a story about it.
If red twine starts getting attached to them and it's making patterns, that's when you call a professional.
I actually identify with your husband. Because I wasn't alive in the 70s, but in the 90s, whenever they did the re-releases, and then there was all the hype for I just love Star Wars. I had a bunch of Star Wars toys, and then I found a box in my mom's basement years after I moved out. Well, not the OGs, just like the ones, because she would buy a bunch of them when I was going out because she thought there might be resale. There was no resale value because they were just the 90s pricing. But I did have around 70 Star Wars figures that I found. And so up until a few years ago, I gave them to a friend of mine a few years ago, but I would have them up on display. And the nerdiest time I had them up display-wise was I went through and watched all the trilogies and put them in order of appearance of the actual, so there's multiple figurines, so it's Hoth Han,
Hell yes.
What is this face, Amy?
No,
I'm sorry, that's what my face does.
I'm going to tell you, Joel, you come play with my husband.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet your husband.
Like a Keymaster gatekeeper moment where I don't know if that's going to be good, but no. Well, let me tell you on the subject of 90s. So here's
you're gonna walk into the room and they'll be spooning on the floor.
No, I know.
Here's the thing. I'm just between Amy's and your house. I'm just gonna live between these two houses.
I'm telling you, you can stay at Amy's house, but you can play. You can have play dates.
Amy, I gotta go play.
No, but here, let me tell you this story.
Let me call the mom and make sure she knows you're coming.
That's right.
You can't just surprise them again. You walked in on them while they were in the bedroom. We've talked about that, Joel.
I will tell you the one of my moments of pride is, so I got married young, and my husband was like, there's new Star Wars, right? In the 90s, there's new Star Wars.
That was a huge deal. People dressed up and went to the theater. My boyfriend at the time's entire fraternity, they made all the freshmen dress 100%. Up in the characters and run around the theater, and everyone's like, yeah! And I was like, yeah!
And you're
like, so fun.
I don't even understand. Well, here's my claim to fame, and I'm very proud of this. You can still find this on the internet. So DJ, my husband, had a gig. He had to be somewhere. And he's like, will you pretty please wait in line for me at midnight when the toys come out? And your job is to just go in and get one of every toy. Right? Do you have chills? Joel?
This is good stuff. I want to see how big this diamond is real quick. It's
that
heavy ask.
0.75 carats if you'd like to know.
That's a big ask.
So, big ask, right? So here's the fun part. I am sitting there innocently young, sweet. I'm in love. I can't wait. Anything my darling wants. Up walks a writer for Creative Loafing magazine. Mm-hmm. I am second in line, not first, second. And she's clearly looking for interviews for oh, you're the dorkiest children in all the land. May I talk with you? And so I'm a wise ass. And so the first guy's like, yes, totally been here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, ha, ha, ha. I'm just here for my fiance. I got the ring, so I guess I'll just wait in line for him. Ha, 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 ha. That is the lead quote.
Oh, God.
Of the article.
Oh, God.
And if you Googled my maiden name, when I was job hunting and things, if you put in my maiden name, the thing that would come up is, I got the ring, so I don't mind being second in line for Star Wars toys.
All night long.
Oh my God. The president is going to see this when I win my Nobel
Prize. They had
to
do that to give all the other Star Wars nerds hope. They're like, you can get married.
He's getting married.
Yeah, if
she even stood in line.
Did it.
Oh my gosh, I wonder if it was online dating, your profile would have been full.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Well, that's my stuff. I always say that's my goal for my next husband is I'm gonna go to Dragon Con and I'm gonna be like, here's a picture of my collection. I would like to have you talked to a real girl? Because if you can show me a bank account with a lot of numbers.
Have you talked to a real girl?
Don't send pictures. Send pictures
there was
of
a
the
bunch
boat,
of
you know
nerds
what I
in
mean?
basements showing that article. The mom being like, "See, mom, I don't have to change."
That's right. I know. I guess
find
you're
love.
welcome. You're welcome, fandom.
Did you get all the toys?
I did. One of every single one.
Okay, I did the same thing. Can I tell you really quick? But not like that. After seeing Toy Story 3, which was heart-wrenching. Did you see that where they all get in the incinerator?
That movie.
I had to go lay down in bed afterwards.
Yeah.
And I had young children. I'm not supposed to be in bed during the day when you have young
No,
children.
that's
Same
very
drip.
that is a very
Same
respectable.
But I went and I
movie
bought
to-
all of the fancy toys. And I'm like, see, they're still alive to myself.
It was your emotional
Yeah.
crutch toys.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was-
it.
I had goosebumps right now. I had all of them. And then the boys were like, my children are playing with them. I'm like, be careful. And then my son started having nightmares. And he was like, they were in the closet. And they're like, there's fire in the closet. And I'm like, it's Toy Story 3. He's having a nightmare. I bought the toys that were in the fire. And it's a symbolism for the Holocaust. Like, oh my God.
I'm sure there's a therapist making a lot of money off Toy Story 3. Is all
my
I can
gosh.
say.
Toy Story 3 was so rude. Like that. Oh my god.
I can't say that was too existential for a Saturday morning with your children.
Well, I'm gonna say I felt like it was just like the ultimate parental nut kick, which is like you're going to the movies with your little angels again. The
parental
angels.
nut kick.
Parental nut parental nut kick.
Ready?
Blue sparkly across the bottom. For
I don't know
that
how
joke.
to spell friend.
But the what I felt like is I'm here with my children to be in the space of adorable childhood in Disney, not to visit the land of when I'm old and a crone alone in my home and the children's stuff has been sold to the lowest bidder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm still in it. Can
Yeah.
you guys be
Oh
here
yeah, because I
in
just
it?
looked it up. There's a 15-year gap between Toy Story 1 and 3's release. So they really did. They were like, you watched this movie when you were younger. Now you might have kids. Also, I want you to know that death is coming for you.
For us all.
Exactly.
Did you
Happy
know
Saturday.
that everything
don't worry.
goes away?
Are you tired now? Just think of how sad you'll be when they're gone.
Sad and
so
tired.
Sad.
Oh gosh.
Like hurtful.
That was rough. Okay,
I'm sorry,
real quick.
we were off
Do
topic.
you have feelings about seeing a doll IRL in real life? Because my mother-in-law has a doll collection, but they're fairies, but they're in a dresser and it's in the guest bedroom, and I had to sleep in that room for a long time before we were allowed to be.
Plastic eyes. I hear you.
And I was like, they're gonna eat me alive in the night.
No, well, I will tell you, DJ Star Wars collection is in our guest room. So if you're in there, like if you want to bang with Jabba the Hutt, story accurate Jabba the Hutt watching, you buy a ticket, babe.
You know, I'm
I got
actually on
place you
board
can
for
go.
that. I'm on board for that because
Yeah.
he's a glutton. He appreciates life. He talks crazy.
You love a gangster. It's very mob doll. I get it.
I'll get you a job at the Hut doll for your birthday.
He's got the appetites, okay?
He's
He's
got-
eating too
he's got
much.
Princess
He's
Leia in a
got
gold
girls
bikini.
tied up all over the house.
Yeah, maybe it is hot.
I'll
Maybe
just leave-
I'm sorry. You know
I'll
what?
get
If
a
that's
job
your
of the
kink,
Hut
do
outfit.
it.
I'll
It's
leave it
you-
for Kenton.
It's Hugh Hefner if he didn't have all the speed to stay thin.
Yes. Well said.
Yeah, that's who
Well
they based it off of, actually.
Oh my god.
Anyhow, okay. Now I have that. I'm so proud to know that the bondage kink town is the crowd is. I brought the Star Wars kink crowd. I'm proud.
Yes, especially the doll collecting. I had a joke about my I had a joke about my husband, like he has a good job, but he may also have an action figure collection. But if he makes enough money, you buy a big enough house, you never have to watch him playing with his dolls. And then after the 18th time, Ken was like, I don't have an action figure collection. Can you stop saying that in front of all of our friends
He's
and
got
strangers?
a rock climbing gym. He does cool nerdy shit.
He does cool
Right,
nerdy
right.
stuff.
No, I have one, and
You have a
I
real
will
deal.
tell you. That's
Yeah.
what I say. I'm like, some ladies have to worry about a tennis pro. Some ladies have to worry about spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on ridiculous cars. But my husband is lucky to be married.
Yeah, you're like my husband. I'm just like, please stop going on eBay.
Well, I'm like, you have no hope. You're lucky you got me, pal. Like, you got no. He's adorable. He's actually very handsome. He's extremely handsome, which is hysterical to me because, like, I do okay. But
You're beautiful.
Thank you. But he's like handsome, so he wakes up in the morning and he'll like stretch and he's like handsome, and I'm like, all right.
Yes.
He actually.
I'm liking and subscribing. Can you post it on the internet?
Well, here's what's hysterical. Another thing is he actually used to be a model. when
my
he was like a
gosh.
teenager, right?
Was he holding action figures?
I wish, that's where all his modeling money went, is straight on the action figure.
Oh my god.
Oh, also, before I forget, send us a video and some pictures of the room. We'll put them in post so people can see
Are
it.
we allowed to? Or is it top
no,
secret?
he'd be thrilled.
I want
Okay.
first. I
be
want to
thrilled.
see them
Because
personally, but then we'll put them in there too. So we'll people
Let
can see
me
it on post.
reiterate though that you think this is like this.
Oh,
and it's not.
I have a full understanding of what you're saying. Like we're talking wall to wall, filled
It's
to the brim. I get it.
Terrifying and ceiling.
Yeah.
It's like the pool table room at Graceland, if you've ever seen that, where every single surface is covered with
This
the
is
same
the second
fabric.
time Graceland has come up in this podcast.
I love Elvis. I have an Elvis tattoo.
You have an Elvis tattoo?
I do. It's on my leg. I don't know if I'm that flexible. Hold on. I can show. Hold on. Ugh. There you go.
Also
there you go.
send me a picture of the
That
Elvis
says
tattoo.
Only fans for you. There's my feet and my Elvis tattoo and my leg hair. Hot.
What's TCB mean?
Taking care of business
take
in
care
a
of
flash.
business.
Taking care of business in a flash was Elvis's
Yeah.
phrase that pays.
Oh,
So I
well,
have
we
an
had a
Elvis
guest
tattoo.
on the pod who was young and touring Graceland, and he felt creative energy there, and it inspired him to live his dream and like become more creative.
Oh, I love that.
What energy did you feel while you were there?
I felt like someone just took a lot of that man's money to make his house real tacky. Which is bad because Amy knows.
I know. Right. Well, you know what? Okay, this is what I've learned from redoing houses that are time capsules. The 80s were crazy. The 80s were crazy for fashion, for cocaine, and for interior design. And so I can only imagine what the 60s were.
Mauve and green. Mauve and green.
The 60s were probably wild too. Like you just never know how many drugs people are doing at any given point in history and how it's affecting their design choices.
That's 100%. Well, and I always say too, one of the reasons why Elvis is so beloved to me is that is, and I say this again with great respect to all these audiences, that is a redneck with money. And there is nothing
sure.
better in this world than a redneck with money. And so when you go to Graceland, you're like, this is in fact fancy.
It's like
to
how
a certain kind
it's
of
how
person.
people talk about like old money versus new money. When they're
100%.
like, I got all this, I gotta spend it.
That's right. That's right.
Burning a hole in my pocket.
That's right. It's not.
We need a jet.
No.
People are still spending money on jets that they don't have jet money about.
That's
We
I
talked
said
about
it.
we talked this before recording. I would be tasteful and have statues of myself.
right. Yes, Joel was telling us about his very tastefully done
They would be
garden of
I
statues
would be
of
a
himself.
Himself.
I would be a patron of the arts is the thing.
Would you hire different
I
sculptors to
would
do your
hire
face over and over
I
again?
would do different ones. I wouldn't just pick one friend. I would get different. And then also,
patron
I
of
would,
the
I
arts.
would,
That's
I
what
would
he's
let
saying.
them be like very much influence what's going to be. I'm going to say, let's go hang out for a little bit, and then you decide what kind of sculpture of me you want to make.
That's right.
Well, yeah, they have to be
I
inspired.
Can be nude.
Exactly.
I can be topless.
You
I
tell
can
me
be
what to do.
Just
whatever inspires
dick
you.
pics.
Whatever part of my body
sculpture.
inspires you the most,
And at that
I'll show
point,
it
yeah,
to you.
and then my girlfriend's been made it very clear that she will not be with me during then. So I just, I gotta have someone to hang out with, and it's the sculpture garden.
You know what I like about that is that future generations are going to look back and say, this guy has taste.
Yeah. You definitely could go to that and just not be like, this guy had mental illness.
You know, if you go far, if you go far enough, like back in time, you don't know if that was tacky in like 300 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's a famous Duomo, a church in Florence that's black and white marble. And I'm sure everyone at the time was like, oh my God, this is so
Black and white marble.
gauche. Who picked this? Ugh. The new Italian neighbors.
Can't believe we let them
classic.
move in.
It's aged well. It's
Yeah.
aged well. So will your garden of...
See, here's the thing. I tried to bring that up. My girlfriend's a huge Shakespeare nerd. I was like, aren't there like statues of Shakespeare? She went, they weren't made when he was alive, probably.
Right.
Also, not commissioned by him.
Correct.
And then I was
Correct.
like, what's the difference? Apparently a pretty big one.
No, I just, like I said, what I feel for you is I want you.
What you feel for me?
I want this journey for you.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is I'm going to just put in a time capsule for my children's children and be like, have you seen Joel's garden?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And done on from life while he
you go.
was still alive.
I think we should just commission the guy who made these portraits of me and my
These
husband.
are hot. I hope
do
you've
it.
shown
I
these
also
on the
asked her about
podcast.
portraits of me, and she goes, that's the same.
I did feel weird getting this made of myself, but
I
it's
would
a
love
joke.
it. I have a shirt of myself on it because my girlfriend for my birthday last year made, and I'll put a picture in post so you can see it. My girlfriend made a cake of me which I loved.
That's
and so
impressive.
I took a picture of me holding the cake, and then the first thing I did the very next day was then I got a T-shirt ordered
of the
where
cake?
it's me holding the cake. So I have myself on the shirt holding a cake of me,
holding you,
and then I
holding
wear it, and then I'll tell you what, I get a lot of compliments on it.
No doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt.
You have a friendly face, so people are going to
I
chat
do.
with you.
Also, people really get my vibe as soon as they see that. And
Right?
Yeah.
I always say it's only people that like are also really into just dumb stuff too.
Well, you
yeah.
know, there's a certain sort of adorability of like, hi, I'm being funny. That's different than like, hi, here's a statue of me holding a cake that my girlfriend made.
That's harder to drag around DragonCon.
I'll find my
Although,
I'll find my statue. People,
It's
we'll
a
make
special kind of cosplay.
Yeah.
It takes
It's
longer.
after dark. It happens after midnight, Amy. You just
the
gotta look
shipping.
for Hyatt Basement. That's where you find the statue, guys.
The statue guys. You have to get one of those, those trolleys you bring all the
Yeah.
beer in.
That's right.
Or the vodka and the champagne
They'll be
when they're
fit,
leaving the
though.
Or
tower
your
to my
like,
car.
giant dragon costume, whatever you need. No one's
Yeah,
judging.
we're in your costume closet, and apparently I'm the weirdo for wanting statues of myself.
Touche.
Fair enough. I don't want to yuck your yum. Okay. You do you, boo.
Anyways, writing and grammar.
Yes, and to bring that full circle. Well, I will say I can segue this to a little wrap up moment, which is I made for DJ, ironically, for one of his birthdays, instead of a Barbie cake, you know those cakes that have like a
Yeah.
Barbie in the top with the big skirt as the cake.
Yeah.
I made him a Queen Amidala cake.
Oh, you're such a good
Full
wife.
Do you also do
Olive.
you have a picture of that?
I will find
Yeah,
one.
send us a picture if you have it.
These are all evidence of me and my excellence as a spouse.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, it is
we
great.
Need, you know what? The older I get, the more I know we have to log this. We got to take
That's
a picture.
right.
You got to print the picture out, put it in a
Nope,
frame,
you gotta put it
hang
on
it around the
Facebook.
house. Be like, remember, I love you,
Yeah.
and I'm working hard here.
On the days that I eat 5 turkey sandwiches, this is the proof of why you still love me.
Well, and you know what? I need to make him a T-shirt with the cake on it so
There
that
we
he can make
go.
friends.
Oh my gosh, this podcast just paid for itself.
Right
Yeah.
there, merchandising, #merch, amandadobbs.com. You'll love it.
Do you have merch, really?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I
Okay.
mean, yes.
I'm very
a
full.
picture of my cake on his shirt. No, I have no merch. I'm not.
Okay,
cool
let's
enough.
talk about cake since that's the thing. Okay, tell your story.
Okay. Well,
tell your-
I said at the top that one of the things I'm nerdy about is food, and I am nerdy about food. And we were all just chatting that one of the things we were talking about is how you use food as a beautiful coping mechanism. So Amy, if you don't know, if you've never had the chance to come to Amy's house, Amy will pretty much hand you a turkey sandwich and a gin and tonic as soon as you walk in the door. Everyone who comes here knows that you will get a beautiful wrapped turkey sandwich, which you'll eat right away as a ceremonial induction to Amy's house.
Part of the culture.
Part of the culture.
And I have an addiction to turkey sandwiches. It's my trigger food, but it's like, I don't know. I when I have turkey cold cuts in the kitchen, if my husband sees it, he says, "Are you okay? Do I need to throw these in the garbage?" I'll eat it. I'll eat it for like a turkey breakfast sandwich, a lunch of turkey sandwich, a snack of turkey sandwich, a dinner of turkey sandwich,
I'm not
and then a nighttime snack of turkey sandwich.
That's, you know, like I said, it could be heroin.
You're
Instead,
right.
it's turkey sandwich.
You're not
I
the
know
first
a
person to
lot.
say that.
I know a lot of people that love heroin.
Right? And that's not nearly as cheap as a turkey sandwich. Well, I was saying that one of the things I do when I'm like I'm a baker. I'm a compulsive baker. So I bake when I'm happy and I bake when I'm sad. And when I sad.
What you said.
When I sad. But I was saying that one of the epic stories of my husband is that I had made this lemon cake. And for you guys who know me, you know the lemon cake story. But I had made this like stress lemon cake during the week one week. My friend's dad had died. I had to go out of town to a funeral. The funeral was going to be on Mother's Day. Like it was this horrible, whatever.
When God gives you lemons, you
Right.
make cake.
You make lemon cake. And I'll tell you, this was a hot lemon cake. This is like homemade buttercream with the lemon juice in it. We're talking like this was a killer cake. And I had like extra, so it was all, I made it all swirly and I wrote like,
You decorated it.
Oh my!
I was
this is
in my mind it was glazed.
This is not like a little lemon loaf tea cake like
That's
an
what I
amateur.
saw in my mind.
No, girl, no. This is a 2-layer lemon layer cake.
2-layer. Ooh.
Look, cream cheese lemon frosting, fully frosted in the refrigerator. Could have had fondant. Could have, if I had had fondant. It could have had fondant.
You put the fun in fondant.
Sorry,
that's stupid.
That's my merch, Amanda. But so anyhow, so I eat like one piece of this cake and I put it in the fridge, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm down at my
Okay, so
friend's funeral.
you bake for the the stress?
The stress.
Or do you bake and then eat? Because I would have, like, in my imagination, make the cake, eat the whole cake.
Well, again, I was being very judicious with my stress, and I was like, I'm gonna eat a piece of cake
Because I'm going to feel shitty later, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why I'm going to turkey sandwich.
I was
Sometimes I'll do
gonna
half
feel-
a sandwich because I know I'm going to have the other half later.
Well said. I was gonna feel shitty later too. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So I come home. So I go to the funeral. I do all this stuff, and I am like gunning for this cake, right? Like this is my emotional support cake. I'm sad later too. I am ready to eat this goddamn cake. So I go in the fridge, and it's gone. And I say to my husband, "Hey, you know there was a whole cake in here. What happened to it?" And he goes, "Oh, I thought it was old. I threw it away." And I was like, you know that scene in Friends where someone eats Ross's sandwich and like he's like, my sandwich, and I like the rage went up and up and up, and I was like, I can't believe it. And he's like, I thought it was
Who throws away cake
So
without checking in with people?
Thank you. And again,
It's like an orphan is loose in the streets. You don't just throw it away. You ask if anyone else, like, this does belong to anybody.
well, and this came to be the point. So I'm in this crazy Facebook food group. So I post in the Facebook food group, kind of, ha ha ha, my husband threw away this cake. Well, let me tell you, those chicks were not having it. And I will tell you, it escalated from like, I'm sorry, he threw away a whole cake? Gosh. And then they're like, why didn't he eat the cake? Why didn't he share the cake with the neighbors?
Why can't we
Like,
give it to
your
a friend?
point, if you found an orphan on the street, you don't have to adopt the orphan, but you might try and like shelter it, right?
Rehome it.
Anyhow, rehome the cake.
Rehome the cake.
Anyhow, it starts getting nasty, and it starts getting nastier, and it's so great, and these guys are on fire. I mean, they are mad. So eventually it was like, okay, ladies, like in order for you to not get on planes with pitchforks and shovels to like bury this cat in the backyard,
Yeah.
I'm going to have to appease the crowd and
Yeah.
give some public shaming. So I made him a shirt, and the hashtag that had been put into the group, I didn't start it, maybe I started, was hashtag cake murderer. So I made my husband a shirt, and I always say it was like psychopathic red letters that just said cake murderer across the front. And they're like, he's got to wear it to like the presidential inauguration. He has to wear it like from the top of Mount Everest.
It's so dark in your baking group.
No, like I'm telling you, like I was just like, oh man, he threw away a cake. That's kind of funny. And they were like, we demand justice.
This is like that Netflix thing, don't mess with cats, where they found the serial killer.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's exactly. And I'm like, I have fallen down a dark place of the internet where like the cake fans are not happening.
I do like that they were like, you have to shame him with his shirt, but then if no one knows the context, they're like, that dude just loves cake.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he just
Don't-
murders cake.
yeah,
like
don't
he
put a
murders
cake ar-
puss.
Yeah, yeah.
So, well, let me put a pin on it. Let me put a button on this that will make you laugh, which is, so I'm like, okay, we have to I at least need to get a picture of him in the cake murder t-shirt somewhere public. So we went to Disney World, and I took a picture of him in front of like the Cinderella's castle. But the best part of it was the Disney photographer. She's like, what's he doing? Like, ha ha ha, cake murder. And so I tell her the story, and she is livid. Livid. And the people around me are livid.
Oh.
So I have this amazing picture that's like a Disney cast member way breaking the rules. Like this, thumbs down to DJ in front of the Cinderella castle.
Yeah,
Cake murder
Mickey
t-shirt.
comes up and is like, you broke the happy rule. And then they told Mickey, and he's like, fuck this
He's
guy.
like,
I'm
Get
starting
this
to
guy
feel
out.
bad for your husband now.
No,
Also,
don't feel bad.
send us the Disney pic, too.
Yeah.
I will. Well, I had to find it because no one believed me that we really did
That's
that.
so good.
And I will tell you, the other great part of it was that all the crowd around me naturally booed him also. And he was afraid. This is the best part. He was afraid.
In the Magic Kingdom.
Because he had this cake murderer t-shirt on, and he's like, someone from that food group or someone from that crowd is gonna
murder
like,
me.
wait for me in the parking
Yeah.
lot at Disney.
Beat me up.
You're-
effing
Here's the
murder
thing: your
me.
husband's nerdy. He understands Disney adults
He's-
do not mess
No,
around. They're
lemon cake
terrifying.
fandom. No, lemon cake fandom is for real. You're
That's
right.
hilarious.
You're right.
No, okay. I'm starting to feel a little bit bad for him because yes,
He's
he made
adorable.
one mistake.
Did I not say that he was very handsome?
Yeah.
So wait,
Did
is
I
he,
not say that he
does
was
he look
married to me
too
for
thin to
23
eat cake?
No, I mean,
Okay.
I mean, he's very handsome.
Because I was like, maybe he threw it away because he's like, I'm too tempted by this cake. I can't have it in the house anymore.
No.
I'm gonna cheat on it.
No, I still don't have a really good explanation from him for why any of that happened.
Has he thrown away other baked goods?
No.
Was he making room for something else in his the refrigerator, like an action figure?
Right?
I did used to freeze my action figures because then the other ones would have to go break it out of ice, and that's like a fun game. So he could have done that.
It was very
He
hot.
could have been like,
accurate.
he's like, oh, I had to make some Jello because a gelatinous cube got Luke Skywalker,
That's
and I had to
exactly-
use my D&D figurines to,
That's what
yeah.
it was.
Was the-
no,
was
I
the
feel
animal-
like that would validate it somehow.
Was the animal where
The tauntaun.
they
You're
had
talking
to
about in
cut
Hop,
open
yeah.
the
Yeah,
tauntaun
the
and
tauntaun.
put Luke
it's
Skywalker
Yeah,
in there
yeah.
to heat him up?
That's really. I want.
I'm upset.
Sadly, I
I'm
would
upset
accept
that you
any
didn't
of
give
it.
anything besides what's the animal in this. I was like, oh, I know she's talking about the tauntaun. Huh?
Right? Amy did know the
I was
tauntaun.
like, anyways,
though.
I'll get along with your
Who's
husband.
nerdy for Star Wars? This
Oh,
guy.
I think I saw that too young as a child. I was like, if that happened to my pony, I would be devastated. You can't cut open your friends,
Yeah.
even if your other friend is dying.
Anytime your parents like, do you want to go ride the pony in the winter? You're like, no, I don't want to cut it open. This is fine.
It was upstate New York. It was very cold there.
it got
We never
very
had to cut
cold.
open a pony.
I just have this image of young, adorable Amy just slashing the hell out of
Yeah.
a pony's belly.
Fuck
Like,
you,
I'll
bitch.
see you in hell.
I had a mean pony too. Oh, she was.
And you
You
didn't-
actually had a pony?
Oh no, she had. Yeah, she
I
did.
grew up on a horse farm.
Yeah.
I grew up in the country on a dirt road. Yeah, it's a whole
But
thing.
I knew that, but I know you have a pony.
Well, yeah. So you actually don't own ponies. They decide to live with you, and like
okay.
they live forever. And so they go from one family to another. And actually,
How
they
long
live
do ponies live?
long enough that like the pony, that like a friend of mine. Well, like so they're up here. I gotta talk faster. Like you could like have a pony when you're 8. Grow up, have your own children, and then your pony is
still there.
Still, it came back around the community, and now
20
your
to
children.
30 years is an average pony's
Yeah.
life.
So the pony bucks you off, and then it bucks your children
Oh,
off.
that's wholesome.
It's a tradition.
I love that. That's wholesome. It comes
The
full
pony
circle.
rubs you off on a tree.
I did not read this. I did not read this in a certain book I'm reading that was talks a lot about a young lady's life.
Is there a little? Is there a little?
Okay, we're gonna talk about writing now. Okay.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure that you guys know and should be excited about the fun project that I'm working on with Amy, or Amy's working on with me.
Do we have a working title for the? Okay.
but
it's a working
the
title
introduction, the introduction's called Snaggle Teeth, or is it Snaggle Tooth?
Snaggle Teeth? I think we decided. Anyhow, I'm gonna shill for Amy, which is Amy Gibbs Brown has decided to record her amazing and hilarious stories about relating to her childhood and relating to her children and their childhood. And I get to be a part of this project because I'm a writing dork and I get to like help write, not write, but edit and curate this amazing, hilarious story that Amy's writing.
My armpits are sweating. Okay, so there's like an old like saying like those who can't do teach, which is awful and mean. I think like people who teach are actually like taking time out of their busy day to do. I can't do, and I'm doing. I can't.
not
I don't
true.
speak English real well. I don't write it for sure, according to my husband. So, but. It's been really fun to try to be creative and then have you come and help me. And I love it so much. And you're so good at knowing where the commas go.
That's my only superpower.
Where do those
imagine
go?
This. Picture this. You get to just experience Amy Brown's comedic self on page after page after page of hilarious stories about herself, her kids, all this stuff. And my job is to like, I think this one already hilarious joke could be like that much funnier. Like, I just work here, man. Like, you're the star of the show. And she's an excellent writer.
I can't handle any of this conversation. I am literally sweating right now.
Showering you with praise. Well, here's
I
what I'm going to
can't.
say. I'm going to say this. I want everyone to know is that it's really hard to write. We were all
Very
talking
hard to
about
write.
this. Writing is no slouch of a gig, and you don't know how hard it is to write until you try and sit down and write. And the only difference between someone who is written a book and hasn't written a book is that they've written the freaking book.
That's true.
And so
you have
are
to sit
doing
down and
the
fudge and
thing.
do
You
it.
are doing the thing
Doing
that is
the
producing
thing.
the pages. You're producing
Can
the
we
units.
put that on like the like
Yeah, yeah.
nerdy for
Doing the things.
doing the thing.
Let me give you.
That's so much about
Let
creativity.
me give you a little bit of advice that I gave. Very, very hilarious comic in town. Tevin Williams goes by Mandel's stage name, and then I was shooting a sketch with him and Derek Marshall, and then we were talking about. I forget exactly what we were talking about, but they were like talking about going out for opportunities and stuff like that. Both of these are like black male comics, and then they were like, I don't know about this, blah blah blah, and I was like, here's the thing. I'm going to tell y'all the perspective of white dudes. I have put out so many like casting calls or like, talent, just things like that. And I've explicitly said, no white men need apply. I have all of the white men I need. I literally am just trying to like diversify who I'm working with. It. And over half of the applications I get in are still white dudes that will be like, I know you said specifically not me, but just in case.
Me.
Did you need me? And so that's what I was telling them. I was like, there's like the saying like, God, please give my child the confidence of a mediocre white man.
That's exactly.
Like, get over, not in a rude way, but like, get over yourself, because for every one non-white dude that feels like I shouldn't do this, there's 30 white dudes being like, why not me?
Like, I could totally. Well, and that's what I have to say, not to like get on my little soapbox a little bit, but I feel like one of the other things they say is that if a man is 50% qualified, they'll apply for a job. Women don't apply for a job unless they're 80% qualified.
That was in
or above.
a lean in.
That was a lean in. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, hooray. I approve of all feminist literature. But here's what I'm going to tell you is that there is not enough female voices on the page.
I wouldn't know because I can't read.
Comic. Well, other moms can, Amy. No, but seriously, I really believe that. It's important to me that, like, what's cool as a writer is, I get to write my own stuff, and I love to do that. But the storytelling, the label we were saying, like, I love to be a story midwife, like a story doula. Like, you've got something cool to say. You gotta get it out there, man. It is like childbirth. You might rip your hiney a little bit, but you're gonna write it. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Rip your hiney a little bit.
Did you know that happens in childbirth?
Oh,
Yeah.
I do.
I'm familiar. Yeah. Don't cut my butthole. That was
And like, we got it though.
We got it.
It's either I do it surgically and it's better, or you do it. And
yeah. Now they're
then
letting
there's
women tear instead of just cutting it.
So what I'm saying is, as a woman who may or may not have been expected to have a torn butthole, the least I could do is write a book.
Thank you. I love you. I love you so much. Oh,
Hey, you do good work, babe.
This is like, I feel like this is like a girl power moment where like we're bringing our different like abilities together and putting them in the community pool, then we're getting drunk in that pool.
That's right.
We're hanging out.
Everyone loves
They're
to be in a
making
community pool.
turkey sandwiches.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pee.
People love having a good turkey sandwich in a
50%,
community pool.
It's 10% femininity and 90% urine. in
Yeah,
the
and some of the
community pool.
urine's even from the children.
Yeah, most of it.
No, not at our age.
But like I said, I just, I'm really, really lucky because I've gotten to like make a living at being a writer, which is something that not everybody gets to do. But,
That's amazing. Yeah, we talk about that.
Oh, I will. Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's fascinating and people are very interested in it.
I always say that the story of how I got to be a writer is I just was a writer. And that sounds funny, but I learned that there are places in the world where people need language and they don't, it's hard to be a writer. So I started out as like an advertising writer. I wrote radio commercials, and then I wrote television commercials, and then I worked for
What's a radio?
I know, right? Dating myself. Back in the old days, there was radio commercials, but no, but there's like.
Did the horses listen to them before they took people to work?
No, how about these apples? One of my jobs was I had to write episodic radio, which is like back in the day, for every episode of the show Roseanne.
Oh my
So I wrote a
gosh.
commercial for every episode of the show Roseanne to play on radio, because that's what you had to do.
That's so cool.
Back in my day, that was a big deal. You guys don't know what Roseanne is. Don't look it up. You'll be sad.
Oh,
But so I did that, and then like I worked at PBS, and I was
That's awesome.
How many tote bags do you have?
Oh my God. Well, I will say this is that one of my proudest moments is that I was there on the day that Fred Rogers died. And not that that's proud for me, but I got to help cut a tribute to Fred Rogers,
Mr. Rogers.
that played. And
That's
I will
great.
tell you, like,
Oh,
that was a
weeping.
day that
That
was
is
like, where were you when JFK got shot?
There's the
Yes.
documentary on him that they made, and I can't.
Tom Hanks is it?
Well, no, that's the movie with Fred, where they made like a
documentary.
documentary, and I can't bring myself to watch it because I know it's gonna be great. But everyone I've talked to, they're like, "I cried forever." I was like, "Yeah,
No.
I don't want. I want to see it, but like,
He died from butt cancer.
No.
And
See,
he
it's
was
always
a
about
vegetarian.
butts. Oh, that's what
He was great though, and also because Mr. Rogers did a lot of really great work, and especially for the time having the what was the mailman character.
Oh yeah, no, officer, what's his face? Where he did that, they were just first integrating pools.
Yeah,
And
and
they
he
got in the pool
purposely
again.
put his
Yeah,
feet in
it's
the
just
pool.
he did so much, and also it's just such a beautiful message. And weirdly enough, I do want to go back. Roseanne now, but she just got weirdly but Roseanne
back in the day.
Roseanne back in the day actually.
Oh my gosh, we loved her. We
Big
loved her in our
credit to
family.
the show Roseanne, because that's actually why Roseanne and Seinfeld are both heavily credited for influencing the modern day sitcoms now and how they are. Especially Roseanne was one of the first shows to actually show lower middle class,
That's
if
right.
not low class, family and struggles. And it was just instead of all the sitcoms being we gotta have everyone's
Yeah, it's
doing well, there's
perfect
no
and-
problems. It's no,
Not everyone's a doctor.
this sucks.
Cosby.
My daughter got pregnant when she's young. Now instead of 5 people in the house, I have 5 people and a baby. Oh, her husband moved in.
Right,
And so it's
exactly.
there's a lot of credibility, which is that's why what's crazy how Roseanne Barr is now. It's you
I wonder if she's gotten how people get addicted to drugs and then they get a little crazy.
Also, money just fucks people up.
I'll
A lot of
second
money
that.
and fame.
I'll second that.
Not-
I have grand
not-
respect
yeah,
for her, but
not everybody
there's-
that has money or fame, but that is one of those weird things where they're you're now in a circle and no one can tell you no.
Yes, and you've been famous for so
Yeah.
long that it's you don't understand how normal people are anymore. And I'm not that I'm accusing Roseanne Barr of that. Don't
Yeah.
come for me, Roseanne Barr.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about already. If I was rich, I would have a statue garden.
Yeah, right. And we've already established what a middle-aged white man would do with his money. And instead,
statue garden.
Roseanne was breaking the glass ceiling for women comics of all time. So.
Right? Yeah, I heard she actually got she got told that she was going to have this big opportunity, and she had been doing comedy in Colorado or something like that, and she moved to California, and she had to just do a million sets to get it pulled together in time for this opportunity she got. Just
That's
blah,
exactly.
bootstraps.
And you know what? Well, and it's get it done. That's how not to
Do
do the
thing.
the shirt that
Do the
says
thing.
do the thing. You want to be a comic, you go be a comic. You do the thing. You want to
do
be a
the
writer, you go be a writer. They might not pay you, but you can go be a writer. And like I said, I've been very lucky because I went, not to see how I did that, I brought it full circle.
There we go.
Have a writer on the show. I'll write
Yeah.
myself back into the script.
Perfect.
No, but, so as I said, I worked at PBS, but I started doing freelance writing, and I basically, people would just say, hey, can you write this? And I would say yes. And so I've done everything from resumes. I got hired to do a coffee table book. I've had a couple
What was
of,
the coffee table book?
it actually was a great gig. So, Yona Mountain Vineyards, plug, Yona Mountain Vineyards across the bottom of the screen. They are a North Georgia winery, and I'm lucky to know the owners. They're amazing humans. But basically, we were we need to tell the story because they have this super amazing winery that's some vineyards in Georgia have sort of tourist wine.
Mm-hmm.
See how I said that so kindly? Tourist wine. And they have amazing award-winning nice wine. And so we wanted to write a coffee table book that talked about how they did what they did. So I wrote some essays and I got to interview them and do all this stuff. But I basically got to hang out at a vineyard.
Oh.
I got to harvest the grapes.
You got
so
to,
I could
ooh.
write about harvesting
Did you have
the
a
grapes.
Lucille Ball moment where you're just crushing them with your feet?
You actually can do that. They have a thing called Crush Fest, and they have a giant thing of grapes that you can crush like Lucille Ball.
nasty.
Isn't that the greatest?
It sounds fun, but they're
Yeah.
gonna distill it, so it's gonna get all the
Yeah, it's okay. I don't think
food, the feet.
I don't think the feet part gets used. I think it's just for the kids,
Oh, okay. They use
okay.
this for funsies. It's yeah.
Okay. But that's what you get to do when you're a writer. I got to hang out with people that own a vineyard and hang out and write about a vineyard. I've gotten to meet a lot of. I worked for a while at the American Cancer Society, and so one of my jobs was I got to write survivor stories about people that had cancer. Wow. And so my job is to call up. I called up one woman who she was a 50-year breast cancer survivor.
Good for her.
And I just got to hang out with her on the phone for the afternoon and then tell her story.
That
What an
sounds so-
amazing job. I feel so lucky.
Yeah,
that
that's
I got
awesome.
It sounds like you get to go just totally absorbed into an experience and live it for yourself, experience it, and then relay what you've seen. I love this.
And that's why it's
like cosplay.
Exactly. It's, oh my God, that's amazing. It's like literary cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly it. And that's why I say I don't say it just to flatter you, but I got to hang out in the brain of Amy for 5 chapters so far. That's huge. That's so cool.
It's very intimate.
It is.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a good job with your writing, you know, it should be evocative. You should feel the feelings. And I mean, that's one of the things we've talked about as we've talked about your writing. But like, you know, right now I do corporate communications because that's, you know, people pay you to come there every day, and that's pretty cool. But I try to make sure that I'm like corporate communications that you actually would give a shit and want to pay attention to.
You just gotta have to pull on the heartstrings.
That's right, because no one gives a crap if you're like some industrial corporation.
Dude,
but you know, and I got
That's
ruined
rough.
forever.
It's rough to get, like, we saw this like corporate pull for recycling that was like, me and my wife, this is how we keep our love alive, is we recycle together.
We make love on the recycling pile.
It's part of our values, and it's why we've been married for 50 years. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
And my husband's like, this was embarrassing for the company.
That's okay. Now you get my job. Now you get my day job. Is how do you make something that is basically a very kind, low-grade sales pitch feel like something
Authentic.
that is authentic. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm really lucky because I get to work, like I work for a university. And so one of the things I talk about is how like the research at a university is saving the world. Like I'm not like selling toilet paper here. Okay. Like I get to like be like, we cured cancer. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I have to do it in a way that's like corporate board member 7 thinks that making love on a recycling pile is the way to be. And it's like, I'm just gonna inch you more toward a more wholesome story about that. And maybe we talk about the cancer curing part of that. That's just gonna be, just as the creative, I'm gonna push us there. Is that okay for everybody to feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, but you know, how I can brag and say I'm a writer for a living. So
You are a delight. You are so fun to have. Like, this is, I think, like, if you're having a dinner party, hire a comic and or a writer, someone who can make a punchline, edit out their story, and like then move on to the next thing.
Did
It's
you
delight.
say before we recorded that you had some articles published recently?
Oh yes. So I'm really proud because there's a publication called Salvation South, which is if anyone's a fan of The Bitter Southerner.
Oh yeah.
One of the original founders of The Bitter Southerner, Chuck Reese, just did this new publication called Salvation South, and I just got an article published that's all about how we got given a donut and how the karma related to that donut was like changed the world and made it a better place.
Oh.
So it's called Strangers with Donuts.
Strangers with donuts.
That's
It says
great.
strangers with candy.
Right.
Yeah.
Strangers with Donuts. And it's pretty great.
That's
It's all
really
about
cool.
eating breakfast at a barbecue joint and kindness.
Oh, I love kindness.
I love stuff like that though, because I do a lot of
I know.
The charity work. Well, not like, I do like a lot of like video work for a charity in town called Covenant House, Georgia. Yeah. I found them years ago. I love them to death. I ran a fundraiser just to throw some money at them. And then after I found out what they did, I was like, oh, by the way, I'm a freelance videographer. Do y'all ever need video work? They're like, yeah, we do. We don't have a budget. I was like, cool. I didn't ask if you had money. I said, do you need video? Because they do so much good stuff.
Yeah.
And every time I go there, it's just fulfilling to get to work with them, get to meet like all the youth they like work with and stuff like that. And then also like when it's like, okay, hey, I saw your like training videos because I did like their intake. I was like, in a non-rude way, they suck. Right. So let me tell you why I think how we should change them and what we should do and then what we should focus on. And then also both that and then I shoot weddings, and when you do an edit for a wedding, it's weird when because you know you're saying you gotta look for the human story in it when you're just like, all right, the end product of this is I'm gonna make people cry.
Right. Like, and it's kind of a beautiful thing, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah,
storytelling.
you do that. Like, you know, if I send a wedding video to a bride and then her response is, I can't stop crying, that's a bad thing for like 90% of the times that you're told that. But for like videos and stories like that, you're just like, no, I did a good job.
No.
I love Coventry House. I have
Covenant House, they're great. Like, because
I have a lot of friends who like volunteer for them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because I didn't. Yeah, like I said, I was just doing a fundraiser. We wanted something that was focused in Georgia, focused on like at-risk youth, and had an LGBTQIA like focus.
Awesome.
Found them, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago. And now I do regular video for them, and they're
Right, and
they're
it's-
amazing.
And isn't it cool that like your gift gives to them?
Yeah, it's very fun. That's what I was saying. Like, it's
Right,
in the
full
pool.
circle. No, where
It's
you're
in the
like,
pool.
I love doing this, and I get to do what I love, and it helps you to get to change the world.
because it's like you're saying, like, you know,
that's
what
why
pays
people
you.
make
Well,
art.
I was just like, hey, y'all don't need to pay me. I got other gigs to do that. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna. I'll never overpromise what I can do, and here you go.
No, that's a
Yeah.
cool
Also,
thing.
everyone just check out Covenant House. They're all around the country. There's even a couple international. They're a very good organization.
They're a very good
Yeah,
organization.
yeah. If you're ever looking for a charity to do fundraising for or donate to, like,
Dude, I appreciate
they're
the
great.
love.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate the plug. Like I said, what's really cool as an artist, as someone who's creative, is when you can be creative and it makes a difference. You
It's
can be
very fun.
creative and make money. You can be creative and make people laugh. Those are all cool things. But when you're being creative and you get to make a difference,
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. Heart emoji. Okay, we have to move to the quick answer session. Okay.
Can I just say how fun this is?
This has been
guys?
so
I know,
fun.
I know,
Guys,
having you.
This is way fun.
You're lovely. I love it. Let's go get
right.
my pool after this.
Okay, what am I okay, here, I'm all yours.
Well, I know the answer to this question. The first question is, have you ever been to Dragon Con?
Many times.
And I know you have, because you have a story about the guys who are in the street and they're all wearing very little and they mark. What? Tell me the story
it's
again.
so great. So
Into the microphone,
One
real
of the
sexy.
best kinds. Here's why you go to Dragon Con, ladies. Listen up. Listen close. There's a part in the Dragon Con parade where there are a bunch of young gentlemen who dress up as the warriors from the movie 300.
What's the movie 300?
So the movie 300 is all about the Spartans, okay?
Okay.
And Spartans are known for being very simple.
you have-
so
Amy's like, and watch
yeah,
300
Spartans
later.
watch 300 later is right, maybe by yourself, maybe with a glass of wine.
Yeah.
But
Just tell Ken to be around afterwards.
yeah, that's right.
An
So
appointment.
the Spartans they have a regiment of real life Spartans, and the outfit of a Spartan is a cape,
Oh, a cape!
some gold sandals, and
I love
red
gold.
leather panties. And I'm not calling them underpants because they are not men underpants. They are panties. And they are very tan and they're very fit. And I admire their commitment to their self
To
and
their craft.
See, what's nice is when an artist can express himself in things
Yeah, and help the community.
and help the community by showing the leather panties to all the ladies in the crowd. So great job, Legion, 300 Legion.
Oh,
You
and
know
they're
where I
called
got
the
to.
300 Legion, or are they called the Spartans?
No, they're the Spartans, but it's fun. You'll find. Don't
I
worry.
was like,
you
gonna-
won't miss them. You
I'm
won't
gonna
miss them.
Google it on
You'll go
TikTok.
down a very fun rabbit hole on Google.
Legion
I'm just
300.
saying, it's good for the guys. It's
Spartan.
good for the gals.
This is your
Panties.
Mother's Day present to yourself.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying panties, leather panties.
Okay, so you love going to Dragon Con, I assume. But you said like you're kind of over all of it. You just now go for the parade with the guys.
Pretty much. Don't tell DJ.
Okay. Have you ever ridden a unicycle?
No. Have you?
No. All of these teeth right here are man-made. I got to keep them. Do you have a Death Star Lego?
100% still in the box.
Oh wait, no, that's not
Never
the same thing
to be
as doing
taken
it.
out. Never to be taken out. No. In fact, we have several of the Lego Star Wars things that are stacked up and displayed in the boxes on the walls, not put together on the
Put
walls.
together.
In the boxes on the
Okay.
walls. So
The next question, of course, says, "Do you have a cape?"
I do have a cape, actually. I'm proud to say.
All of my friends
I
have
do
capes.
have a cape.
There's
I mean,
not
not
been
like
one
a
person.
A lot of
casual
people have capes
cape.
on this show.
It's not like a casual everyday cape. I mean, it's for occasions. But yes, I have a cape.
I have a wool one I wear in the winter. It's a jacket.
There's only so many people that can get away with a cape in real life, and you're one of them. That's a compliment.
It's made by this I can't do names anymore. The blonde girl who does who's from the South, who's a very famous actress, and she's
I knew Tauntaun off the top of my head. But
I do have
Reese
a Tauntaun
Witherspoon.
throw through one.
It's from
Throw-
Reese
Oh.
Witherspoon's collection.
There we go.
That's some kind of a cape. That's a buckhead cape.
I
right
wear
there,
it
baby.
with long pink leather gloves.
I love that. I love a good. I didn't know. I love the idea of long pink leather gloves.
Yes.
Doesn't everyone? Well, and with a cape, I mean,
Have you ever held a ferret?
I have held a ferret.
Are you okay?
I do not prefer ferrets. Have I said that so kindly so we don't get yelled at? Rats that are that long are not a pet.
France, yes, you're not the first person to say that. Someone called it a liquid penis. It's like going through your hands.
I'm eventually gonna.
It was Lace Larrabee.
I'll eventually have
It
you.
was Lisa.
I'll eventually have you interview my girlfriend, who's very nerd. She loves ferrets, so she will go to bat for these ferrets.
It's a life.
as
It's
long
a
as she-
lifestyle.
As
I
long
feel.
as she brings pictures and puts them on.
I don't even know. I don't think she's owned a ferret, but she just grew up in the country and was one of those being like, what if I lived in the woods and I was just a friend to every animal?
Right, like the Snow White syndrome, where you're like,
That's what-
oh my
yeah.
God, they're gonna make me a ball
yeah,
gown.
she's just
no.
like, yeah, I don't need people. I just need the animals.
Yeah.
I support that energy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
ferrets don't live in the woods. They only live in the basements of
That's fair.
teenage boys.
That's
fair.
correct. I will say, here's my brag on that. Side note is that I have been to not one but two Repticons because the children
you
love
just broke
reptiles.
The
Nerd, you
reptile,
broke
the
the
reptile
nerd scale.
society.
Two
Okay,
Repticons.
what is this word? Let me write it down. R.
No, don't write it down.
Isn't it what is,
Don't-
what is
they'll
it
find
in,
you.
in
If I say
Atlanta?
it 3 times, will
No.
I summon
Yeah.
it?
A man with a mullet from Florida will show up and give
He's
you.
like,
a
hey, you want to hold this
Hold my
steak?
snake?
No, seriously.
Give me $5 and some chew.
I am serious that is not like I am prone to hyperbole. I will tell you, I cannot hyperbole
Yeah,
Repticon.
yeah.
It is real. It is a real man from Florida. Like not a made up story. It is like
It's a person. I
if
thought it
you
was-
have bred a gaggle of snakes in your
Mm-hmm.
living room in a tub that you would store Christmas decorations in, you can get a booth at ReptileCon. And it is
ReptileCon.
terrifying. I mean, wonderful.
I have a friend. They love ReptileCon.
It's a
I would
thing.
go and murder every single animal.
No, I will tell you, there's a tarantula display.
I've got a shovel, and I'm not afraid to use it.
No, I don't.
You're like,
But
I'll-
again, as
I'll
someone who's
pay
done
you
a
to
lot of
not
writing
come.
and branding, I'm like, wow, you've got very creative with your names. Like, I wouldn't have thought of like Amy's Tarantulas. Wow, a lot of business. Easy to find the website though.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, this kind of brings us into the next one. Do you have an aquarium/terrarium?
The children do. We own a toad.
What have you given into? Tell me, and I'll hold your hand.
No,
and we can
I don't.
get through
You
this
don't wanna know.
together.
Here's the thing. They're in
The
high
children
school.
are only going to
They
be here
could
for a
be
minute.
doing weirder things
Take
than
the
this.
table.
Aren't we were saying, like, I'm sorry, we're touching the table. Everyone who has had to order cockroaches from the internet to feed something, we're here for you.
Oh my god! Oh, my mic.
It was the reptiles coming for you,
That's
Amy.
what it
That's
was.
what it
That's
was.
No, that was like the ghost of the Florida
Yeah.
man knocking it
I've
over for
I've
you.
seen like a friend got a snake for her child, and it was this like. It was a Facebook post, and it's one person wrote, "It's all fun and games until you have a dead rat thawing on your countertop." Like, nope.
No, and I drew the line at a toad. A toad eats worms, and I'm like, I will tolerate a toad, and I will tolerate worms. That is where my line gets drawn. You're gonna have to go get tattoos or piercings after this. I can't help you after toad.
I 1000% support you, and this is good. It's good to have boundaries.
It's good to have boundaries.
This really is. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So yes.
Okay. Oh, did you ever get into Harry Potter in a weird way?
Yeah, well, here's what I'll say is as a writer, you will get sent or fall into fanfic real easily.
That's one of my questions. Have you ever written
yes.
fan fiction?
I have not written, no, I haven't written fanfic. I do have a plot for a romance
You
novel.
even know it's called fanfic.
Oh, girl, I can tell you, AAA.
You should be
Her
hosting
husband
this
has
show.
a room of Star Wars toys. not
to write
not to
fanfic.
shame, just the idea of like she knows what.
This is your show.
I know what.
This is your show. You are so much better at this than I am.
No, I will tell you, but here's what I'll say. Again, doing the work. Someone's out there. If you want a chewy, soft core moment, you don't have to look hard. Someone got there for you. So that's nice.
I mean, sexual prose.
Thank you. That's such a kind way of saying it. I feel like sort of the feelings porn, the ones that the ladies like.
Yes.
Yeah.
My therapist told me I was supposed to read that, and then I was like, "Did she forget I can't read?"
There's audiobooks.
It's just,
I will say all my
Apex is APEX.
a lot of my
APEX of her
friends
thighs. Just
that
look
do
for that word.
that do like voiceover and voice acting work. A lot of the paid work on the lower end is narrating smut.
Don't knock the smut, man.
No,
The romance
people, and I'm
novel
not saying that in
industry's
a bad
whole
way,
thing.
but I'm saying there's a lot. If you
There's
need
a lot of. It's a
if you
good
need
way to
someone
break
to
in.
read you in a sultry voice about people fucking.
Hey man,
Dude,
once
it's
I
out
get
there.
once I get my Chewy novel out, I know who to call.
Isn't it chewy? Like,
Don't laugh. You can fall down a
Do you
weird
think
place.
he's really
in
good
fanfic.
at cunnilingus because he can? He's got a very fast tongue.
Excuse me. Let me get my notes.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. You use your uvula for the Chewbacca noise. I'm not saying that Wookiees can't.
So it's more of a. I mean, that appeals to a certain crowd.
Yeah. I can
I'm
do
not,
it. Yeah.
you know.
I can also do a very good Chewbacca as well.
I bet you do. I bet your girlfriend's happy about that, big guy.
That's why she puts up with all the statue talk.
That's what it is. The
my
statue talk.
Okay, have you been to band camp?
Yes.
Yes, Bible camp.
Maybe as a kid. No, that's a lie. I was a counselor at Vacation Bible School once.
You were a counselor at Vacation Bible School?
This guy, right? I don't even go to church.
Would you just make it up? You're like, and Jesus
I
got
just
the
had
wand from...
Yeah, you're like, Jesus wept. Anyways, let's go swimming in the lake.
Exactly. I was
the
like,
wand picked
who wants
Jesus.
to celebrate the Lord by playing basketball?
Jesus
today?
put a hat on, and it was like, you're in this house. Oh, wait, wrong book. My bad.
My bad. That's sorry. So yes, I educated children about basketball, not Jesus, but it was
Really?
great. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it was at a church called Hoops for Christ.
That's what it was.
Okay, did you do space camp?
Yes, and Space Academy.
Oh, you...
Pull me back.
Not
hitting...
to brag.
Dude, okay. We have this chart of
Yeah.
nerdom.
Oh,
and
did
you
am
are
I
just like,
winning?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm winning.
Oh
I'm
my God.
winning.
And Space Academy. I didn't even know that was
Yeah,
a
man.
thing. Was it in
Yeah.
Alabama?
It was, and I was old enough to know better at that point. Mhm.
Did you ever watch? There was there was like a reality show about like all the like redneck scientists in Alabama.
No.
because you know there
No,
there
it's
is
Birmingham.
Yeah,
I mean,
Birmingham.
it's-
where,
or
so like-
Huntsville.
Huntsville.
They have
And
a rocket there.
Yeah, so there's like NASA scientists, but they also just grew up in the South. They're like, all right, man, here's what I tell you about rocket science. Here, you can put that, and like you're just like. Man, you sound like Boomhauer from King of the Hill, but you were literally telling me how to project myself safely into
Right?
space.
Like he's doing calculus. I'm so impressed with that. Yeah. What I'll say is that there's a contingent of space camp kids that I feel like I'm not going to deny that I'm a part of that crew.
I love it. Okay, did you do math camp?
No.
Science,
I was a writer.
Science camp?
I have done science camp.
Oh my God, this is the most camps anyone's ever hit. Allergy camp.
No,
It wasn't a thing back then.
Oh,
Allergies
no.
just got
Do
invented.
you go there to celebrate your allergies, or
You
because
just go
you
there to
have
survive
allergies?
summer.
Yeah.
Oh,
You sit in a,
like in a fetus
you sit in a
tube, hang out with other
sterilized
kids
room
with
and they give you
fetus?
saltines.
Oh no.
Well, they can also have a support group because they really do. It's very isolating to be the only kid that can't eat things.
Yeah.
You know what? I bless their hearts.
Right? Yeah.
Bless their hearts.
Have you ever framed a puzzle?
No, I haven't. I have shellacked a puzzle.
Oh
I have Mod Podged a puzzle.
So I think we're gonna count that as a yes.
There's not a frame around it, but I might have Mod Podged a puzzle. It might have been more recent than you even know. Who's
Yeah,
to
well,
tell?
You know what?
I-
Lasha got crazy during the pandemic, and I'm not judging.
Who's to tell?
Yeah.
Modge podged a puzzle. Jesus. Okay, your wedding at Disney. Yay or nay?
Oh no, but that was only because Star Wars didn't own.
Yeah, they didn't have
Disney didn't own
they
Star
didn't have a
Wars.
Star Wars
Oh,
thing.
update. Wedding at the Star Wars area.
Or perhaps vow renewal.
Oh,
Sorry,
it is
and
going to
then-
be my 25th pretty soon.
rehearsal dinner in the bar where it's like
I'm telling you, dude,
The
this is a
cantina?
whole. You think
All
I
of the
mean,
groomsmen are the guys in the white, the stormtroopers,
The
in their
stormtroopers.
in their
Someone's
fancy
playing
ones.
jizz in the background. Which, if you didn't
I will
know,
come
that's
to that.
actually the canon name for the music that the Cantina band plays.
Hell
called
yes.
That's the
jizz?
genre of music is jizz.
Jizz.
See,
That is canon.
I was more into the Max Rebo years.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You
Hello,
all just talk
Return of the
amongst yourselves.
Jedi.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So Max Rebo, it's not that his band is called Jizz. That
that
genre of
of
music
music
in
is
the Star
jizz.
Wars universe is called Jizz.
I feel like that's
As-
fan named.
No. That is
That's
100%
canon?
George Lucas said that it's called Jizz. And everyone's like, fucking really?
I don't think George Lucas
no.
knows what jizz is.
He doesn't know what Jizz is, but he made it a genre of music.
And you know what? Bless his little heart, because as much as I enjoy his creativity, I think we can all agree that George Lucas and his dialogue is not the sharpest.
Yeah.
And so the fact that he would just come up with that off the cuff seems very valid for his particular writing style.
Yeah.
As in, he's a never mind.
He's
Not a
a
great
good
writer.
world builder.
He's a wonderful. How creative! Bless him and his creativity.
Empire Strikes Back, arguably one of the best Star Wars movies, and I say arguably as in if you say it's not, you're wrong. was made amazing because the first cut was awful, and then his wife came in, recut it, and that's why it's the best one, because it actually has like heart and good story and stuff like that. And she recut it.
Number one,
Who's his
feminism.
Yeah.
Number two, doing
This
the
is his
work.
ex-wife. They're no longer together.
Well, can I
but
follow her on Instagram because I like her already?
Yeah,
She's a
yeah.
good one.
She's
But I
great.
agree. And
Yeah.
as I said, I've sat next to a lot of Star Wars podcasters at a lot of tables, and they would all agree with that.
It's not a controversial.
We're getting
take.
a deep cut right here.
it's a good-
And
it's a whole-
that was one of the words. That was one of the things. Have you ever said that's not canon?
You set me up, Joel.
Yeah,
It would have come up anyway.
yeah.
It would come up anyway.
Oh,
my
man, I
God.
feel a little bit proud though. I'm feel
You
proud
were,
if I win.
we're just
I
a
win.
quarter of the way through my questions, and my eyes are tearing up.
already.
This is like
I'm already. The pie chart is like here.
right. Have you ever I feel like for sports people when like they just know someone's breaking the record, and
Actually,
they're
I
like,
will
if
say,
he gets one more home run,
I feel like we could even add a new question because of your stories of have you ever stood in line for a midnight release? Like, that's a very nerdy thing.
That's a hardcore
which
question.
we've never asked before, which we know you have.
That's it, because you can go anywhere with that. That's a book.
Yeah.
That's a toy. That's a game.
But yeah,
that's
midnight
release. That could
Standing
be
in
an
line for a
iPhone.
midnight release. That's a nerdy.
Yeah,
thing.
that's
a good add-on.
that shows passion, and that makes you a nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And commitment.
And commitment. And like able to put a plan together because you got to bring something to poop in. I don't know how it works.
That's right. No, I'll tell you.
Have you ever said huzzah?
I have
Have you gone
because
to the
I
red
have
fair?
gone to a Renaissance fair
Okay.
too. Of course, I have.
Did you dress up? You're gonna be
It was
hot.
long
Did
enough
you
to
have
go.
a bustier?
Oh well, you know.
I was gonna say. I'm excited.
I didn't have to pay for my entry, if you know what I mean. No, I was a freshman drama nerd, so of course I went to a Renaissance fair dressed up with my drama teacher and like wore a headband with ribbons and like bought a necklace that says Scorpio that has like I've done all the things. Don't worry.
Did your theater professor have a ponytail?
No, it was a woman, and she in fact did not have a ponytail.
Okay.
so-
Well, that's they don't.
The
let the
art
women
school
have it.
teacher that was too comfortable saying things to women at my school for sure had a ponytail and the horseshoe bald.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
no. It has to be like this. You have
Yeah.
to look like
I think that's what Donald Trump would look like if he stopped
Yeah.
quaffing.
I wouldn't it be amazing to just slick
Like-
that whole thing back
Yeah.
and see what happens?
If he
like
went,
put a
yeah,
ponytail on it.
if he used his richness to go into liberal arts instead of terrible capitalism, both aren't great.
And shouldn't
but-
we all, Joel?
not even
And shouldn't
doing-
we all?
He's not even doing capitalism right.
No.
His margins are garbage.
Yeah, he's just bad.
you.
He's just, yeah.
But you should see his prose. His poetry, amazing.
Have you ever worn a costume more than one day to school?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, okay.
But you had like cool, like you were theatrical, and I was like, I'm gonna dress like Yoda twice this week.
I love you so much. This part of that is like goth counts.
Yeah,
Did you ever go
goth counts.
Did you go goth?
No, I did not. Like
Okay.
I said, I was a theater nerd.
Was there ever a period of time in your life where your parents refused to take pictures of you?
Ooh, that's a good one. No, I was beloved. They
Okay.
encouraged me at all times, which says a lot about my self-confidence.
Maybe too much. Who's to say?
Yeah, too much. Maybe like 10% too much, really.
Okay. One of the questions is, have you ever written fan fiction?
I like I said, I guess I can say that I have. I have read. I have.
You're the first
Yeah.
person to check that box.
No,
That's true.
I can say that I have. Yes.
And the first person to do the canon. This is all-star team right here.
Yeah, this
okay,
is it, yeah.
we're the Braves last
Yeah.
year. Like we're
I
doing
was gonna
it.
say we're 99. Where's
You're
my pros?
hitting-
I'm like Jock Peterson.
You're hitting for the
I'm the
bleachers.
Jock Peterson of the nerds. Nerds. Jock Peterson's a basketball player.
Oh, I didn't know who
No,
that
I'm
was.
kidding. He's a Braves player.
Oh, okay. I don't know that. Oh, Jacques.
Jacques. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I pronouncing it incorrectly?
I
The
don't know.
redneck baseball player. He
Had-
pronounces it Jacques.
Oui.
Jacques
Have you
Peterson.
Have you ever had a birthday party for a pet?
100%.
100%. Okay. Have you ever put your pet in a costume?
100%. Can I go ahead and just give myself 5 points extra credit?
Yes, yes.
I have 2 dogs. They are pug dogs. They are twins. What is their names? Fred and George, after the Weasley twins.
Oh my God, that's
Oh my god.
And they have an Instagram called the Weasley Pugs.
Okay.
So just go ahead, just scratch the
great.
list.
Send us a picture that
Weasley
also
pugs.
Yeah,
it's
they're
gonna be
sweet.
it's gonna be real sad if one dies.
Oh,
Why are
Joel.
you so
The
hurt?
books, the books.
Oh,
books,
I
the
was like,
books.
why are you
No,
cursing?
no,
No, Malocchio, Malocchio.
No, I don't want it. I listen. If
No.
if there was like a system where
He's a
you could
tribal.
like like trade your like lifespan for animals, I'd be like, great. How many do I got to take off to give to where we can just meet to where we just kind of on the same day be like, I would do it. So I'm not wishing, but I'm just saying you did name them after two twins.
What I'll say is
sadly.
how profound would it be, just like the beautiful writing of J.K. Rowling in book number 8, that we had to give up one of the twins in order for us to defeat evil. Maybe we'd had to. Maybe we had to.
One sacrificed himself in front of the army of Death Eaters that were attacking her home in Decatur. It happens. It's Atlanta. Shit gets crazy.
Anyhow, just go ahead and add a category for pets named after Harry Potter category.
I can't. That's not even in here, but it's phenomenal. Okay. Brew your own mead.
I have.
Oh my God. Oh, you're doing all of it.
I'm so sorry. I really have.
Okay. And the next one is, do you have a tattoo? And you're doing it for Elvis, and maybe you've seen it.
I have a tattoo of a lizard too. So
Ew.
that's I got it
forever. On your
No,
body.
it was a freshman in college thing. It's okay. It's cool.
Did your theater teacher make you get it?
No.
At the Ren Fair?
No, but I could get away with it at a Ren Fair. Let's just say that.
Ye
It's sort of
old
dragon-esque. Yes. So
It's a dragon.
Well,
That's hotter.
Sure. Yes. It's a dragon, a ferocious dragon.
If it's a salamander, I'm going to hit you in the face. And not punch you in the throat.
Not a Celtic salamander, which is exactly what it is.
It's a Celtic salamander?
I have a jumpsuiter I'd show you, but yeah.
Oh
so
my
no,
God.
it's a ferocious dragon like a biker would have.
A Celtic salamander are two words that don't go together.
Yes.
I refuse
This
all of
is
this.
what happens when you check all these top boxes that you just asked me. You get a tattoo of a
I feel
Celtic
like
salamander.
I've stepped through the looking glass and I'm in a different parallel world.
No one's going to outdork me, gentlemen. Don't you worry.
I feel like I have to frame this. This is going on the wall.
I'm not even a little bit embarrassed. I'm so proud.
No, I'm really proud of you too. You're living your best life. This is what this means.
I mean,
anything. This is my husband says. If you're not having fun, you're not trying hard enough.
That's right.
This is
Whoever had the most fun wins. And you know what? Look at all this fun.
Look at all these checks. This full life you have lived.
So much rich life.
Do you have a pair of binoculars so you can look at birds near in a window in your home?
I also have a laminated card that tells me what birds they are.
I think this is also the
And
first.
I'm not
This is
ashamed.
the first for the binoculars, and then definitely the first for
The card.
Yeah, the card.
I know. Laminated card. Birds of the Southeast.
Oh my God.
And I have a lot of tufted titmouses in my yard. Titmouses.
You can do whatever you want with your tits. They're fabulous.
That's right. That's what they told me.
Do you watch Jeopardy on Netflix?
Not regularly,
But you have.
I like how you try to not regularly, but also yes.
This is a record.
Do I or have I?
This is the best Mother's Day of my life. And I gave birth on Mother's Day.
Hey, I married a model. Hey, I married a model.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm really emotional. Do you get excited buying school supplies?
Look, I'm a writer, okay? They're the tool of my craft. You hand me a hot, brand new thing of a Bic black pens, the clicky top. I like a clicky top. I do not like gel. I want a clicky top, ballpoint, and a brand new 3-subject spiral notebook filled with love and possibilities. Okay? That's hot. You're going to have to argue with me that that's
Anything's
not
possible.
That's like
You could take over the world.
That's hotter.
Manifesto season.
No, that's what I said. Like just the potential and like the energy. Like if I wanted to write my fanfic, that's all I need.
Yeah.
I can scratch in the dirt with a stick, or I can write in this beautiful thing.
Write and rub one out at the same time.
You just peel off a page; they're perforated. If you get the
You
good
can
kind.
fill your spank bank right from your brain hole.
That's
a
what my
superpower.
That's what
that should
my
be
that's what my my
Merch.
romance publishing company is going to be named. Is Spank
I
Bank
want
from
that.
your pie hole.
I'm gonna make you a cape and it says
Spank Bank.
Fill your spank bank from my brain hole.
Brain hole. Brain hole
You're wearing it to
Productions.
Dragon Con. We're going together.
You look for me.
Oh
Booth
my
12.
God. AJ Dobbs, you are the I need to get you a crown. You are the queen of all
It is my pleasure to come
Ultimate
be
ruler,
nerdy on your podcast.
non-gender,
Thank you for the invite.
phenomenal
The
show.
phenom, the
every
nerdiest of all.
Every check. Every
No, I didn't
check,
get
check.
everyone.
You got everyone.
I didn't go to allergy camp.
Oh, you went to all the other
The camps are kind of grouped in one question.
She's a Chihuahua.
No.
That was just phenomenal.
No, I didn't go to. Now I have to go to allergy camp before I come back on, so I can have a perfect record.
You can have some of your kids do it. I'm not worthy. You should be hosting this show.
No, ma'am.
I
am grateful that I get to be with you. I am grateful that I get to help tell your story. You guys, keep an eye out for this hot thing
It should
coming
be done
out.
in 5,000 years.
5 years. But you know what? You do the thing. You do the thing.
Do the thing.
Hey, we're all lucky to have you in our world. And I'm
We're lucky to
one
have
of the lucky
you
ones.
in the world.
No,
Oh my God,
the
Joel.
dorks. Right.
The dorks.
They hold me as queen, but you, not the others.
Queen. The dorks hold me as queen. You're the queen. Yeah, I'm behind with like your train, just like I got you. You look great. Listen to your lipstick.
I love it. You're hired.
Okay, thank you for coming, and that's another show. Yay!
Thank you.